So let's settle in for our second practice. And we'll see where we go with this. So taking your time to settle in. Gently, slowly becoming aware of your body. And just bringing in some movements if you need to gently adjust the body. Finding a comfortable position. Sometimes it can be helpful to sort of check balance, whether we're kind of sitting evenly in the buttocks. So we might check in with our weight distribution. Are we leaning in a particular direction, or are we feeling fairly balanced, fairly centered? So just allowing for any subtle movements or changes in the body, in the posture. And if we're in a seated position on a chair, just checking that we can feel all the parts, or as much as we can, of the soles of the feet on the ground. Checking that the legs feel comfortable and even. Adjusting if there's any holding or tightness or tension. Sort of releasing the grip. Kind of giving the body permission to just be in this moment, to let go a little. And then just checking in with your seat, checking in with the pelvis. Again, making sure there's no sort of holding or gripping in those buttock muscles or the upper leg muscles. Allowing or inviting parts of the body to soften. And then if your body allows it, sitting tall from the pelvis, perhaps having a sense of the spine lengthening, growing tall. And as we think of the spine, or we become aware of the spine, I just invite you to bring it could be the tiniest of movement, but just having a sense of the flexibility of your spine. So whether there's just a gentle sort of leaning, maybe just tipping from the waist, almost so you can feel the bendiness, the flexibility in the spine. Maybe there's a sense of rounding as well. Rounding in the shoulders, just feeling that flexibility. Perhaps a little movement of the head and the neck. And as you move, and it can be nice and gently, slow and small, you're keeping your attention in the spine and feeling this feeling this potential for movement. Maybe even taking a gentle twist. Again, just a gentle twist from the waist, sensing the capabilities of the spine. So really becoming aware of all the movements that our upper body is capable of. Turning, bending, twisting, reaching. So as I say, it could be really small and subtle movements, just to get us in touch with this amazing flexibility in the spine. And as we embody and get in touch with this flexibility, we can start to become aware of our own nature, our own true nature, our ability to be flexible is within us. So even if sometimes we might not feel there's flexibility, sometimes we might feel there's limited or limitations, limited choices. If we can become aware of this flexibility of the spine, of the upper body, this ability to move through the world and adapt and change, we can also, as we connect with this, feel our connection to nature, which is in a sense our true nature. But if we think about plants and trees bending and flexing in the wind, in the weather. And often They talk about especially young saplings, young trees, plants. We see it in our enormous sunflowers. That wind, so the elements, the experiences strengthen, help us to grow, just like it does with these young trees, these plants. Just taking that in for a moment, having these experiences like the wind, like the weather, making us move, needing to adapt and shift and adjust to accommodate, to modify what we're doing. These essences of flexibility, strength and resilience are within us. They are part of us. And we can feel that it's part of us just by connecting with our bodies and what our body is able to do. So if you've still been bringing some movement in, that's wonderful, and equally it's okay if you've just been resting here. Perhaps we can become a little bit more still. Of course, returning to the movement anytime, because this is a lovely way to embody our true nature of flexibility and adaptability, strength and resilience. Perhaps just taking a moment to rest, come into stillness. Maybe just checking in with the jaw and the shoulders, so just softening some here. Just releasing the jaw, softening the shoulders. And as we soften the shoulders, we can naturally sort of soften through the arms. Maybe even just giving a little shake just to release out there. Releasing out through the hands, through the fingertips. And then resting the hands in the lap, comfortably close to the body, so we're not putting any strain in the shoulders or the arms. Allowing the hands and the fingers to be soft. And the invitation here is to work with the breath. So feeling the movements, the sensations in the body as we breathe. Perhaps we can feel how parts of the body swell as we breathe in. And gently release on the breath out. So we can continue to feel this flexibility and adaptability in the breath. there's an invitation here to kind of breathe into the spine, just so we can maintain this awareness of the spine. And it may be that you just have a natural breath here, just directing the breath into the spine. Or it might feel comfortable to breathe a little more deeply. And just finding what feels comfortable for you. And you can use your breath to support you here. So for example, I've just been taking a few breaths up into the spine in the neck. So the cervical spine. Just because for me, I'm really aware of quite a bit of tightness and tension in the neck. I'm just using the breath just to breathe into the back of the neck, into the spine there, just to ease out any tension, inviting in a little bit of softness. And of course, as we breathe into these areas, we're sending this fresh new oxygen, which has such healing properties. And maybe for you, maybe there's a little bit of stiffness in the lower back. Breathing into the spine in the lower back. Then you might like to try, just as a little bit of playfulness, a bit of exploration, a bit of experimentation, is having the sense of breathing up and down the spine. So as you breathe in, the breath goes up the spine, and as you breathe out, it comes down the spine. Breathing in and up the spine, breathing out and down the spine, and just noticing what happens for you as you breathe this way. Breathing up and down the spine. And if for any reason that feels a little bit tricky, just keeping it simple, maybe just having a sense of breathing into the back, having an awareness of the spine, having an awareness of your breath. keeping it simple, just having an awareness of your spine and an awareness of your breath. And if at any point you'd like to return to a little bit of mindful movement, particularly if the mind is busy, and just bringing in some gentle twisting or bending, flexing, or choosing to remain still and just breathing into the spine. So just choosing something here that supports your practice. If you are moving, having this sense of moving from the spine, feeling that flexing, that movement. And then perhaps just taking a couple more moments here in stillness together. Breathing into the spine, having an awareness of the spine. Connecting in with your true nature of flexibility, adaptability, strength, resilience. It's there when we need it. wherever your attention is. Coming to notice this body, having an awareness of the spine, having an awareness of your breath, feeling the movements of the breath here in the body. And then together we'll take a nice big breath in and a nice gentle release out. And then we'll bring this practice to a close. So taking your time with some gentle movement perhaps as you gently shift from the practice. Opening the eyes whenever you're ready. Alright, lovely. Thank you for your practice.